During conflict, we can trigger our fight, flight, freeze response. When we're in this state, we often don't have good conversations. We deliver our messages poorly, and we are not open to listening. Our minds become narrow and single focused. We need to shift out of this state, but first, we have to recognize that we're in it. It can feel different to everyone when you're in this fight, flight, freeze state. So I'll list out some common indicators of fight, flight, freeze. Think of your last conflict with your partner, and while I go through the list, notice if any of these items resonate with you. So we'll start with our body. Tension in your jaw, neck, maybe your hands are closed into fists, or your legs, especially your thighs or butt, might clench. Tension all through your body. You might have shallow breathing. This could be rapid, quick breaths. Very frequently, especially when we're very flooded, we can have an increased heart rate. And this would look like a heart rate over 100 beats per minute when we're just sitting down and doing nothing. This isn't accurate for people who are on certain medications, but for the general population, if you're sitting down doing nothing, having a conversation, and your heart rate goes over 100 beats per minute, you're in fight flight. Handy Apple Watch, Fitbit, check for you. If you're holding your breath, sometimes when we get into fight, flight, freeze, we do the freeze response of holding our breath and having very still, shallow breathing. But we really feel like we're not breathing at all. We can also feel very fidgety, like you need to move. You might shake your leg or twirl your hair, play with your fingernails, or bite at your lips. Could also sweat. Palms, feet sometimes. Believe it or not, butt, armpits, neck, which doesn't really have a lot of sweat glands, but when we start to get nervous sweat, we can sweat from all sorts of places. We might also start to feel jittery, almost like you're shaking inside. You might not be shaking on the outside, but you feel like this sense of jitteriness. You can also have dry mouth, butterflies in your stomach. So these are a few ways that our body says, hey, this is a situation we need to get out of, or this is a situation that feels unsafe. Checking in with your body is a great way, not only to understand your present state, but it's also a key step in regulating it. I know there's another component that often makes the response even more impactful, what our minds are saying. For some of us, our minds go blank when we're in fight, flight, freeze, when we're flooded. You aren't thinking much about anything. You might have the thought, oh, I hope this gets over with quickly. Okay. For others, the nasty commentator steps up to the mic and starts to add in its 2 cents about your partner, about you, about your relationship. Thoughts like, here we go again. Why can't I just be loved? How did I end up here? They think they have complaints. Wait till I get going. This wouldn't be happening if they were a better partner, if I was a better partner. Blame, criticism, defensiveness, justification, all of those thoughts can show up, and they fuel the fight, flight process. Under all of this, there are 2 most likely emotions that are showing up, and they're the emotions that give us energy, anger, and fear. So it can be helpful to notice, is there anger? Is there fear here? Let's get back to your experience. Did any of the items I listed resonate with you? If they did, make a note of them. And when you notice them, you showing up in conversation when you're having conflict, you might just want to take a break and restore yourself to a more balanced space. Remember, this is because when you're so activated, when you're in fight, flight, freeze, you can't send and receive messages really well. We want to do this so that we can send and receive messages better. We can have conflict with connection if we are all sending and receiving well. When we take a break, we're not using this as a way to get out of the conversation. You will come back to this conversation once you or your partner have calmed down. This is a key to the success of taking breaks, is coming back to it. So when you talk about this with your partner, if you say, hey, I really need to take a break, follow it with, let's come back in 20 minutes. Or, I want to be able to talk about this again. I'm not ending the conversation. I just need to calm down. Is 20 minutes good for you? Is a half hour good for you? When's the next time we can talk about this? On average, calming down takes about 20 minutes. So give yourself a minimum of 20 minutes. If you get good at these practices of calming down, you can use a shorter amount of time, but initially try for 20 minutes. You can use whatever methods work for you to calm yourself down. When you're in your break space, what you don't want to do is you don't want to think about the conversation, plot your revenge, figure out all of the ways that you can have better comebacks. You don't want to continue the fight in your head, so that's not really going to de-escalate you. You want to do things that are calming, that restore your nervous system to balance, that help you de-escalate. Okay, you can see my video on dropping anchor, also known as ACEs, for a way to shift out of that reaction and out of emotional overdrive and into a more balanced space. This is also a really great tool when you have children. Children can push buttons. They take their adorable sticky little fingers and they just jam them right into all of your little buttons. They know them. What you can do, you can take a break there too. This might look like, mommy's feeling really upset right now. I'm just going to go sit on the couch for a minute while you play. Daddy's really frustrated at the moment. I need to calm myself down. Can you stay in your room while I go to my room? I'll be right back. You want to make sure that they know you're going to be back. You're not abandoning them. If you can't regulate yourself, it will be very hard to help them regulate themselves. And that is part of a parent's job, is to help children learn how to regulate their systems. Good luck. Have fun. Wear sunscreen.